Hey guys, got a good one for you. Neighbors are spraying their alfalfa. That right there is a neighbor of ours, lives over on top of the hill over the river. And a friend of mine across the road that milks goats, he is a helicopter pilot and he flies for this guy. It's quite the entertaining show. These boys really get some stuff done, don't they? I think you almost got to be a little bit crazy to do that. Imagine trying to fly like that in this wind. You gotta be good at what you're doing. Yeah, so anyways, there's some helicopter footage for you. Never thought I'd be making a helicopter video, huh? My camera don't want to focus. There we go. Starting to think I'm one lonely farmer's camera here. I don't know how long he can spray. I saw his wife going up the road in the big Kodiak. They've got a big yellow Kodiak or Chevy 5500 or whatever the heck it is. Big yellow truck, and it's got a big platform. He lands a helicopter right on top of it, and they fill up the spray tank, and I don't know if he fills up with fuel at the same time or what he does, but it's quite the setup. They give helicopter rides and all kinds of cool stuff. But anyways, just happened to be up here working on the fence. Yay. Yesterday I come up here and replaced this post. This was a broke off post, so I didn't really have to wait for much for anybody to decide anything on this one. And then the rest of this, so I fenced from here down over the hill. I'll show you that in a minute. But I replaced that broken post, and then over here, I've never showed you guys this from the top, I don't think. A lot of you guys have said stuff about using a transit and everything for doing the property line. I know nothing about a transit. I have buddies who are in construction, and I'm pretty sure at least one of them does, but everybody's working, and I don't really want to wait for anybody else. So as you can see up here by this electrical box, junction box, that orange T-post, when this property was sold off in '96, there was 5 markers put along this property. There's an iron pounded in the ground from the surveyor. And then they had a white piece of PVC that slides inside the iron. Well, Ed come up here and put a T-post in right next to it. And there's 4 of them for sure. I'm thinking when the last neighbors built this fence that we're replacing going down the hill, I'm thinking they removed one of them, but can't say for sure. But anyways, my fence used to cut down here, as you can see, along the inside of these birch trees, and then it went down the hill at an angle. Well, so of course yesterday I cut this place down, and then I just used a string and went back about halfway to the gator, and then I come by these wooden posts along that survey marker post, and I just pulled the string line down here as far as I could, and I kept it so the string was 2 to 3 inches on my side of that survey stake, and then I set this post, and of course then I use a flag from hauling it home to put on there, and now you can go way down the hill. I don't know if you're going to be able to see through these woods here or not, but way down there, you know, this valley drops down, then it levels out, then it goes back up a little bit, then it drops down, and right down there is the road. But when you're standing up on top of that last knob looking down at the road, you're about, I don't know, 50, 60 feet up above the road, and it's almost straight down. Well, what I was thinking about doing is just getting 3 or 4 pieces of 3-inch PVC, hooking together, spray painting the top of it blaze orange, and, you know, blaze a trail down through here, cutting these trees down, and I can, you know, tie a string to the other end, come up here and tie a string to this post, tie a weight in the center of it, and slowly start letting the string down, and Jesus Christ, it's got to fall in a straight line. I mean, I'm no scientist or whatever, but one would think that, you know, gravity pulls straight down, that's what it would do. But so anyway, so I moved this yesterday, and wouldn't you know, that prompted somebody to call a different surveyor to get a different price on it, and they said $300 to mark this, which is kind of irritating because now I have to pay half of that. This has already been surveyed. I work on a budget, and this fence this spring was not in the budget. I had planned to put 1 strand of high tensile wire around this just so I didn't have to use this double woven wire, which has been here for years and doesn't carry a current worth crap. So this is really cutting into my budget on, you know, I still need to get a corn head, and I still got loans to pay and everything. So this is it's kind of irritating. Somebody, when they first decided they were going to do this, they said they were going to pay for it, and now it's split 50-50. And the worst part is, fencing laws say you start in the middle and you go to the right, that's your half. Well, the problem is, in the back, I already have fenced, which is about half the length of the property. So technically my half should already be done, right? But here I am spending more money on shit that I wasn't expecting, so you can't tell I'm a little irritated about this. And you guys can look back in the video when I was hauling manure to that back pasture with the box spreader. That night when the box spreader broke, I put the V-spreader on, and I finished hauling pen pack with the V-spreader, and this guy was down on the fence line, flagged me down, wanted me to come over and check out his new heifers he bought. And that's when I brought up the fact that between him and my pasture, there should be 4 strands of high tensile, get rid of that nasty barbed wire that just keeps shorting out fences. And he agreed. He said he'd pay for it. Well, I'm not worried about who's paying for it. What irritates me is the fact that when you've discussed it a month and a half ago, and you don't go buy supplies, you don't start cutting trees down, you don't call a surveyor, you don't do anything, or even talk to the neighbor about changing where you want to move the fence to. So that's what I have a problem with. And now I'm busy. Here you can see the helicopter landing way out there in Prochnow Field. So my problem is here, it's the busiest time of the year, and I'm scrambling to try and get fencing done so I don't have to worry about my cows the rest of the summer. You know, I've got people want me to go plant new seeding for them, other guys want corn planted, and I'm sitting here screwing around with a fence that nobody has lifted a finger on to help me with anything yet, other than every time I call and say I've done this or I've done that, I've got grief about it. So not trying to piss and moan about it, but it is getting old. So anyway, so I got 4 strands run. I started this about 8:30 this morning, and right now it's 11:25. Well, I got 3 hours on this to get these 4 strands strung out. Right away this morning I made the post wraps for up here for the tensioner springs and the tensioners. And I got all the insulators put on the wood posts, except for I think there's 1 or 2 that I need to do yet. And then I come through and put 4 insulators on scattered throughout. This is where I'm at now. I need to go back on and put more insulators on, so I can kind of keep these wires spaced out all the way down so they don't get intertangled with each other. But I just finished the 4th strand. I don't even have it tight yet. I was just starting to tighten it, and I heard the helicopter coming and he started spraying, so I grabbed the camera so I could film that a little bit. But so this up here has always been a field. It's never been pasture. The whole idea with redoing this and going down that hill is he wants to add this whole field into pasture, because I hate to tell him, but he's got 3 more heifers coming, and this little 2.5 acre field on the bottom and this, I don't know, 1/2 acre to 1 acre side hill that's already mowed to the ground is not going to be near enough, even for these 4. But that's not my problem. So what I've realized though, this fence every year gets pushed out farther and farther this way. Well, I've tested this fence numerous times and his power is never on. So that's a lot of why I want this barbed wire gone. At least that way I know I'm gonna power the bottom strand and then the second to top strand. He can power the second from the bottom and the top strand. At least if I know the bottom one's hot and this one's hot, that should work with calves and everything. That way if he doesn't pay attention to his middle one and the top one, that I'm not as worried about it. The cattle should still stay where they belong. But you can see it keeps pushing over. Well, then the barbed wire just gets wrapped around my wire, and all this down here, starting from where I'm standing all the way down to those woods, is all barbed wire. And it is the biggest ass ache in my entire life. Every time there's a short, it's either here or over in those woods. You can see where I cleared a trail along those woods. That neighbor would not let me cut down the trees that had wire in them from 40 years ago. So I had to mount, use wood post insulators and hook the wire right to the trees, and then between the trees I put T-posts, and then I've got T-posts set next to the tree, so if the trees ever fall down I can build a straight fence again. But I'm not worried about that. This over here, I had a question yesterday about how many acres of pasture I have, and right now I have 35 fenced permanent pasture. And my goal is, I've been talking with that neighbor that owns that 40. He might sell me 35 and keep 5 acres of his house, and that has right now about a 12-acre field on top. So I would fence out the field and then cut a driveway coming down this hill, and it would come out right on the right side of that big oak tree. And then if you guys noticed in my video the other day of the cows going out, my lane, let's see if I can get a good shot of it here. My lane comes down there. See where the cows have been going? I designed that lane last fall when I built it, so I can run equipment up and down that lane to get to that point, and then I got a buddy with a bulldozer, I'd have him cut me a nice trail going up to that field on top, and then I'll fence the perimeter of it and put the whole thing in pasture, and then the brush hogs can go out there and slowly open it up and whatnot. But today this is the priority, because in the bottom down here, that's a gate opening right there. And the problem is, when this guy bought the place, he has no equipment for doing hay or whatever, so I've been doing his hay. Well, he moved that 20-foot gate there down to there and put this gate opening in. Well, he was raising steers back then. The problem with that is, the first year it was there, the second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, it's never been put back. There's a single strand of this crappy electric wire that runs across it, and God only knows if it's ever been powered. And so just my single strand of high tensile on my side, then every year I go back there and throw a strand on the bottom and just hook it on there quick, so there's 2 strands, so I don't have to worry about my cows getting on his. And thank God none of his have ever, well, I can't say never. One of his steers come through this fence one day and we had to get it back. I don't remember if that was the only time or not. So I have never had cows out on anybody else's land, and I like to keep it that way. And I really like to keep everybody else's animals off mine. So and the biggest problem I have is with new cattle and bringing bugs in. I want this built so there's 4 strands on there, and then I'm probably going to run my poly wire down the inside about 2-3 feet away from the fence, so I don't have to worry about these guys touching noses, at least not this year. Maybe next year after his have been here for a while, then maybe I'll change my mind. But anyway, so that's kind of what I'm working on now. So hopefully he calls the survey that, or sets up a schedule with his county surveyor today. We said $300 do that, and he can get that mark going down the hill. I can run up here with a skid loader again, set that little post on that valley, and drop the trees like crazy. That's what I'm planning this afternoon. It doesn't feel too windy. I want this fence done by the end of next week. So, but anyways, that's a little update on the fence and a little quick helicopter video. I haven't been paying attention to where he's at, so there he is. Alright guys, well, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment if you have any comments for me. Please subscribe so you can stay tuned for more. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.